What's going on, my friend, in YouTube world, YouTube land, YouTubeville, whatever you want to call it? It's all good. I've been wanting to get on and talk for a while about portable power. Um, I'm doing my video on my new iPad here, so I hope it's working out okay, that everything is doing all right. I'm sure it is. But I want to talk about portable power, some of the things I use. Now, one thing I don't have with me is my Anchor. I have a little Anchor power bank, charges cell phones and iPads and that thing. Anchor, A-N-K-E-R, makes great product. Right off the gate, that's something I use. I carry it in my bag if I'm traveling on a plane or something. It's just great on the go. I used to take it in the car with me. I think it was fantastic. I still do. I think Anchor makes good products. It's just great for device charging. This one has, multiple inputs. Now remember, the more devices you put in there, you're dividing up the amount of amp hours or time you have for charge time. It says you got 24 hours of charge time, but that's all debatable depending on what you're charging. And it's all debatable depending on how many devices you have on it. But if you're on a plane ride across country and you're in a bind, and they, like Southwest Airlines doesn't have charging ports, I guess they say that's how they cut costs. I don't understand that, but that was the last time I flew Southwest, and that's been a good long while ago. About now, they may have charging ports. I don't really know, to be honest, with Southwest. So, another thing I've got, it's a backup, but I don't really care for this thing too much. I bought this when I went for my RV because I was like, I need all the backup power I can get, and it's called Omar's brand, if you see that. O-M-A-R-S. I don't like it. I gave it a bad review because it just, charging devices, it has an 80 watt inverter in it. If you see right there, you can turn it on, and anything up to 80 watts, which I think is kind of a waste, because I don't know if an appliance with 110 volt needs 80 watts. I mean, yeah, granted, you have things like, there's PCs that plug in or 80 watts. You can charge PC. I think that's where it benefits the most, and that is okay. But this thing, the battery just doesn't last that long, and I was just not happy with it. I haven't used it in forever. It's got a full charge now. I keep it in my bag with some of the so-called camera stuff. I had a bag for that. I don't know why I even did that either, because I got a GoPro camera. I was carrying, thinking I was having all this camera stuff. I was going to do all this, but you know how it is. Your cell phone's going to do everything you need for it today. That's what I love about our iPhones. They videotape everything you need. I love it. But I do have a GoPro camera, and I'm thinking about upgrading that later, just to have that a second camera when I'm doing things, just different angles. That's not right now, though. That is not on my priority list. But this thing here, I will say, and I should have started off by saying this, my thing here is it doesn't matter what you live in. It doesn't matter if you're in a cardboard box, a tent, a tree house, a house itself, a car, a van, an RV. You always need backup power. You need it. And it's kind of the wave of the future, this solar generators, you got so many people on YouTube talking about this stuff, and I just could put my own twist on it, and I love it, and I tell you what I do. There's a few companies I really love. Two I know because I own the product, and one is Jackery. I love Jackery. Excuse me on that. This is my 240, and if you see, my iPad is plugged into this right now. It's my 240. I love this thing. I've shown it before, the Jackery 240. There's 1,000,001 videos on the 240. Go watch them. Their new 1000 is out. It's pretty cool, but I tell you, I think Jackery's got something new on the horizon. I think it's going to be really cool, and I've said it once, and I'll say it again. I think that when there's a company that gets a 200 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery with a 2000 watt inverter on it that is very efficient and an efficient discharge rate, and it may be more than 200 amp hours, it may be 3 or 4 for a discharge rate, but 200 at least. It's a game changer in this business. They're gonna have the contender. The closest one out now I hear is Blue Eddy, but they're having problems with that, the AC200. I hear, if you hear Will Prowse talk, they're having some issues with that. Will Prowse is one of the beta testers and one of the guys that gives them good input, because Will Prowse, if you want to know about solar generators and batteries and solar, Will Prowse is the guy that can really, he is the source. He's like the Bob Wells of solar. Bob Wells is the godfather of living. If you can't, if you want to live, no matter how you want to live, in a car, in a tent, RV, van, if you can't learn from Bob Wells, you're not going to learn from anybody. But Bob's got an amazing an amazing amount of of videos of how-tos on how to live like that. And I mean, he's not the only one, but Bob is the one. Bob is like I guess he is the one that started it all, really. He's the one that everybody looks at, Uncle Bob, and he's the one about all that stuff. I've mentioned him before, and you guys, I'm sure some of y'all follow him. You know you do if you're interested in van life. He's the one that comes to mind. You look at van life, and Bob Wells is top of the list. But I mean, he's not the only one. So, but he'll tell you backup power is very important. It's really important. Another thing I use here, and I love this thing so much. This is the one that is going to be the game changer once Energy gets the Flex system out. And the new Flex batteries they got will connect to this and the Kodiak. I have an Energy Apex. I love this thing. I've talked about it before. It's got a 1500 watt inverter in it. It currently has 90 amp hours of battery. Now, for that thing to run something like this AC or pull things long term, one, you have to have a lot of solar. That'll run about 500 watts of solar. I would need probably at least 200 or 300 amp hours of battery. It's lithium iron phosphate. With the new Flex system, you can upgrade up to as many batteries you want on that new supercharger. This one here, you probably can add as many as you want, but solar-wise, you can only do 500 on it. They've got the supercharger system where you can go up to 2,000 watts of solar on the new ones on the Flex systems. They have a DC-only unit, and they have one with a 1,500 watt inverter. What I wish is that Energy would come out with a 2,000 watt inverter. That takes you over the tier to do like certain microwaves, to certain coffee pots, instant pots, stuff that's not pushing it. But I will tell you, I've run my water kettle on that Energy and it runs it. I could do a 700 watt microwave on that and it'll run it. So, you know, it's still that 1,500 watt inverter, and those things run great. There's a guy that had a Kodiak and a bunch of solar panels, ran a whole RV with that, because there's a 30 amp plug on the front of that. Now, on my Jackery, it has a 50 watt, my 240 50 watt panels all you got. I've got the foldable down below. I ended up getting that with it. But the 1000, I think you can put 200 watts of solar on it, and you can take two foldable panels and you can click them together and do it. So that's going to get better in this deal. I'm telling you it will be. I'm kind of holding out whether I'm going to do anything. I think I'm probably going to upgrade to the Flex batteries. I talked about if I go with another van or travel vehicle, I'll upgrade those and work off that instead of building a system, because I think that's the portable systems are a way to go, to be able to have it in your vehicle and be able to take it out and do what you want with it. And that's all debatable. That is all debatable. Some people will disagree. But the technology is going to get better. Hang on just 1 second here. I got the heat going here and it is hot. Woo! I had to turn my car on to heat this thing up a little bit. We're locking, yeah. I'm in my van here, as you know. Just charging the battery a few digits. But anyway, it's 83 degrees in here, but it will cool off because it's cold outside. But like I said, this all going to get better in time. It really is. And backup power is so cool. I had another little device. I can't find it for the life of me, but when I'm not looking for it, I'll find it. It was a little USB charger. It had 2 AA batteries you could put in. I got it at Walmart. Little reluctant to use it with Apple devices since they're so sensitive. I don't really know. I don't want to blow out the end of the plugs, the circuitry on that. But that was another one for Androids. I didn't have a problem with my Androids on it years ago, but I think it's just all these things. I'll tell you another thing I've got here, and that thing is in my bag. I've got it in my studio stuff and my dad's frog, but I've got something that I'm going to also show you on another video. If you haven't seen those commercials about the Patriot solar batteries and all that, those things are the real deal and they're legit. I have a solar flashlight from them. That thing is the coolest flashlight I've ever had in my entire life. And in fact, I'm going to grab this thing because it's right over here within reach, provided I can reach it. Hang on just 1 second here, folks. There it is right here. This thing is so cool. You put this on my dashboard and you got solar to charge this flashlight. This thing you've got, don't ever get behind somebody and do that behind somebody. Pull them over, you'll get in a lot of trouble. But you've got blue and red, and that might get somebody's attention, scare the hell out of them. I can't believe they put that on there. We're legally able to do it. But if you hold it down, you got the flashlight. This thing is so bright. You got 2 shades of it, strobe. Hold it down again, it gives you that. That's cool. And it dims it, does that. Hold it down again, it gives you that. Hold it down again, that. It's so cool, it really is. And this thing's got a glass break tool in it. It's got a seatbelt cutter, or you can cut things with it. You got a compass on the end of it. The Patriot stuff is legit, real deal. Just make sure you're going to the Patriot people. I bought the solar battery as a battery pack. You charge your device and you put it on you put it on your backpack or have it in the dash. It solar charge that it will charge that battery, and you'll have battery in your cell phones if you're out in the middle of nowhere for eons, man. You get out there, say you're out in the middle of Arches National Park somewhere, getting lost, and you're running out of battery or juice. I'm just using that one place as an example. There's a lot of places out in the middle of the desert or something. You got battery life for days. This is why solar is such a wave of the future. I talked about if I decide to build a tiny home and get a lot, I will have a solar bank, and I will have at least 1,000 amp hours of battery, and I'll have a real heavy inverter, either going to the meter or powering the house, depending on what my situation is. You've got people that say, oh, solar sucks, solar's useless. No, it's not. You just have never used it and you don't understand it. And I beg to differ on that. And I'll argue all day with you on that, because solar is what keeps this vehicle going here. And I've yet to have issues that I just didn't have enough juice, especially in the summertime here. My battery is 100% charged in 2 or 3 hours. I can use 30 or 40% a day and I'm back up 100%. It keeps that trickle charge for the refrigerator nonstop, as long as you have enough, input charge, enough charge being able to come off that battery. That's why I'm thinking, like on this, I've had things where the refrigerator shut down. It said low input voltage. It's because my lithium battery got real close to 30%. You really need to have as much battery bank as you can get. It's almost like they used to say, buy as much house as you can afford because it's an investment. The battery bank is as much you can afford and get and fit in your vehicle. It's like 400 to 600 amp hours. This is why I think the systems like these Volta and Lithionic systems I talked about some time ago in a video are so amazing, because you're talking about 8,000 amp hours in the Volta. I didn't know it was that much. And like 13,000 amp hours in the Lithionics. And you can get bigger systems. Volta won't let you use the system without a dealer, but Lithionics, I think you can buy directly, because if you watch that channel, the Fit RV, they upgraded their Travada with the Lithionic system. James did a good job on that. That's been some time ago. And they won't have a problem selling that Travada. It is an amazing unit, because they're actually going to be getting the new Winnebago Echo that's coming out this year sometime. Winnebago is going to roll it out at a hefty price tag, I might add, too. It's got one of those Lithionics systems in it. But like I say, portable power is the way to go, no matter how you live. If you live in a house, get some solar panels, have it. You get all these, you don't have to be a big prepper, but you got all these people that I totally agree, living in a hurricane-prone area that I'm in, prepping for that aspect is very important. A unit like that energy I've got can power the 12-volt fridges and things you need on a daily basis. You have enough propane to cook with. Keeps things cold. Run fans. Can do a lot of things, because, here in August, September, still gets muggy and hot. And you get without power for 2 weeks, and it's real muggy inside your house, and you have to keep windows open because you don't want mold and mildew in your house, and it's just too hot. A lot of crazy things, So living in the Southeast, we got a ton of humidity. It's the way it is. Some of you know that if you live here or in Florida or wherever, Louisiana. Somebody commented this. They commented on my review of my Cruise and Comfort AC. Will it run in Louisiana? Because we call it Louisiana because we're Southern, but Louisiana because it's so humid. I'm like, I'm in South Carolina. I'm right there with you. Yes, and no problems. Everything is running great. I said, listen, I have 200 amp hours of battery and lithium ion, but I would get as much as you can get. Get 400 to 600 amp hours. Just get your battery, get enough solar. I would put at least 600 watts on your roof, and for a heat source, I told him, I said, you can get these portable Chinese diesel heaters that you can take out in the summer and put in. You just screw it into the floor and connect your vent and your exhaust and just plug the 12-volt up and you've got it. You just got to be careful when you're filling up your diesel, it fumes all in your vehicle. But so many options, and I suggest dry heat, because a lot of these propane heaters will let off a lot of humidity. I think if you're going to use propane heat, I think the only thing to do is the radiant heaters, like the Wave 6 catalytic heaters. The Wave 3 and Wave 6, I would recommend on that deal. But I'm getting off topic here. But it just all correlates to portable power and portable things that with technology today, we have the option to live however we want. And it's so freaking cool. People think it's because you don't live in an actual house or apartment or you're homeless. I'm going to call bullshit on that one. Bullshit, pardon my French, on that one. I'm calling BS. I'm just going to tell you right now. So, language alert. Sorry about that. But anyway, I'm just telling you that, you know, if somebody says that, they don't understand it because they don't know much about it. They think, well, you're living in an RV, you got to be homeless. No, people living in an RV live better than people living in houses. That's why I'm talking about building me a tiny house. It's almost like having a studio house. It'd be so cool, you know. I could move it if I wanted to, but or having one if I bought a place somewhere, or just taking a nice travel trailer and having it there and having means to make sure everything is stable. But anyway, I wanted to get on and talk about, I'm running at 15 minutes here, but I want to talk about portable power, and that I hope if you're looking to get in this, that you find what you need, but just do your research. I still learn every day, and I've been doing this over a year and a half. It just, it is what it is. If you ain't learning, you're not living. So it is what it is. But you got any questions? If I can answer them, comment below. Hit like and subscribe, please. If you're not a subscriber, I would love for you to like and subscribe. And anyway, as I always say, if anything cool comes along, I will cut you in. And I'm going to do some music on my iPad here. That's why I kind of came a little bit early into my van, a little bit quieter, because I needed some time to really get used to doing music on this iPad. I talked about that. I want to get on and talk more about my music and stuff too, I think, as I've said before. And that'll be kind of cool as well. Hoping to do a new album this year, like a release of some cool stuff. So if you like post-rock and ambient music, that's what I'm looking to do. Good instrumental music. I love that stuff. That's what I do for TV and films. I love it. Anyway, I got to get off. You guys be cool. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Be cool. Bye.